folks. It's Sam and Aaron here in the Learning Commons, and we wanted to take a few moments today to introduce you to our brand new Primo. Ta-da! There it is. We're very excited about it. Primo is essentially a robust discovery tool that searches across a wide range of platforms and formats, and it's now ours. So that's pretty neat, and it's ours along with 56 other colleges and universities across the state of South Carolina, because TCTC and its consortial partners in Pascal have all banded together to make this move as one. So now our students will see what students at Clemson and at USC and College of Charleston and a multitude of other schools all across South Carolina are all seeing through their discovery interface. And this is good because not only will our students have immediate access to a more vibrant and far-reaching resource, but when the time comes for them to transfer ultimately to continue their studies down the line, they'll already be familiar with the core discovery tool being used at those other institutions too. So Primo, as you can readily see from the landing page, also relieves us of the need to have all those little silos of information and all those little search boxes scattered across the page. The vast majority of our resources are now accessible through a single interface, print or digital. So what's all in Primo? Well, there's the sum of our collection, print resources, ebooks, even the bulk of our database content will now all be in one space in Primo. But there's also the print collections from other Pascal colleges and universities. Our students can access, through Pascal Delivers, most any book at any of those other partner institutions. And on top of all that, there's an array of additional open access content. So truly, books, articles, media, and more all in this one space. So how, you might ask, do we actually go about getting those things? Well, basically, there are going to be 4 ways to search. There's going to be a simple keyword search, and that's going to be found here in the home box on the landing page. And that'll get us started. And you can see from the get-go that we're going to have a range of possible resources or possible scopes that we can utilize. So I can cast my net very broadly and look at all the books, articles, and more that are in Primo, or I can focus on smaller chunks of the collection, things like the TCTC Library Catalog, or Pascal Delivers, or even just that article level material if I choose to. And in fact, if I decide to start a search, you'll notice that those same scopes will appear for me so that I can be thinking a little bit critically about what my information need really is and where's the best place to find that information is going to be. Now, it's also the case that if I sign in, and that's easy enough to do up here in the right-hand corner, I'm a student or staff here at Tri-County, I'll just pass through my usual sign-in, just like I would if I were signing into my email. There we go. Now I pass through, and now I'm going to have some additional functionality that I didn't have before. I'm going to have the ability to see my loans, any outstanding requests I might have, my search history, so I have the ability to recreate successful searches down the line and not have to go back and rebuild those from scratch, and even some favorites. In other words, I can start to pin strong resources and start to even create a kind of research notebook as I go. So in addition to that simple search functionality, there's also going to be an advanced search, as you might expect. And this is that old field search with Boolean operators approach. We also have those same targeted scopes that I saw in my simple search. So we can build a more complex search here if we decide we need to. Or I can toggle back to my simple search. Now, in addition to those basic ways of searching, I can also come up to my top line tabs, jump into journal search if I want to focus on specific publications or sets of publications. And if I have a mind to, I can slide over to browse Primo search, and I can browse by title, author, call number, or even browse by subject, thereby utilizing some of those subject headings and indexing. That can be a very powerful way to search as well. Now you'll notice that I have a new search up here in my top line tab, which just resets my search. But there are also going to be times when pedagogically I might really want to step outside of Primo and look very specifically at a particular database. I want to focus very intentionally on that subject-specific resource. I can do that very quickly right here from Primo as well. And now I have access to our full A to Z list, and I can hone in on things that are particular to my interest in the moment. Similarly, if I'm not sure what those disciplinary specific databases might be or what those resources might be that we have, I can slide over to research guides and very quickly jump out to look at our guide resources to see what kinds of content or what kinds of access points and discovery tools might be available, particularly for certain subject areas or disciplines. So that's a nice little link there. So essentially from this Primo landing page, I have access to the full suite of what we provide here at the college. So last little thing for me, I want you guys all to see that there are lots of ways to get help here on the homepage. You can phone us, you can email us, you can even chat real time with a librarian so that we get that real-time assistance when we need it. And we hope that you guys will never hesitate to reach out and contact us about anything that makes you scratch your head or think twice. So let me step aside for a bit. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, but I'm going to give Aaron a chance to come in and put us through the paces a little bit with Primo and do a few basic searches for us.
Okay, so I'm right back on the Primo screen. One thing to point out, as Sam mentioned, is that I have logged in because that extra functionality through searching is very valuable. And as you log in between machines, if you're at your work computer, at your home computer, if you're on another device, visiting another institution, as you're logged in, you have access to all of those same features, including the search history and the favorites. So it allows you to access again everything that you have previously accessed in the environment that you are familiar with, making rediscovery just as easy. So I want to show you what search results are going to look like here. So at the time of recording, something that's all very important to us is the concept of online learning. So I will show you some results for that. As Sam mentioned, these results are being pulled from every type of resource that the library has access to. The result list here in the middle lets you know what you're looking at. So here, this first result is an entire journal called Online Learning. It's peer-reviewed. It gives you the nice little icon for that, and it gives you that preview of here's the type of content I should expect. I'm familiar with what a journal does, so that's what I should look for here. If from these list of results you're not seeing the type of content that you expect to see, you can look over on the left-hand side where you'll see the familiar ways to limit your search results, showing you your options for restricting based on format, restricting based on where it is coming from in relation to the library's collection, who owns it, where it was published, the academic subject that is related to. So if I've decided that I do not want to see journal results and book results, I'm interested in doing article level research. Over on my format list, I can restrict simply to articles. Again, notice that our icon changes for the generic. Sometimes we do get previews of the journal cover. And above each of the titles, again, it's telling me that the type of resource I'm looking at is an article. For your students or for you as you're searching through, if you want to take a look at if an article is going to be very useful for you, you can jump in by clicking on the title and it takes you to this details screen that is very useful. So we have some of the elements that we are familiar with. A lot of our citation information is up top. We have our subject lists if we want to repeat a search later on. We have our description or abstract, and we have the ways that we will access this result. On the right-hand side, we've also got the ability to see related reading. Very, very useful for students if you want to highlight this as they're building out their bibliographies for those research papers. that they can find more of the content that they're looking for just on this right-hand screen if they're able to determine that this is a good resource for them. I want to show you one of the quirks of Primo in that, as Sam said, we're looking across all of the databases that the library has access to. So here, under this View Online list, we have 4 different databases that are linked out. This is because 4 different databases provide the full text of this article. So if you have a layout that you prefer or more familiar with, some people really like the EBSCO layout, some people like the ProQuest layout, and if you are more familiar with Gale and like that one, you can choose how you see this content. Other useful tools on this page are listed out right here. This print function will allow you to print out this record, the description of the article. It is not the print for the full text. To do that, you will have to go through to view it online from the database. You also have the citation tools, which allow you to switch between these 4 citation styles to copy to wherever you are managing your subscription or your research. The permalink you'll see is different from the URL that is listed in the top bar. This is the best way to get back to this exact page. This top bar URL is not permanent. The permalink, as the name suggests, is. And finally, an option to email to yourself this record, which will include that permalink as well. Here we have the icon to add this item. That, as Sam alluded to earlier, allows you to start building your list of favorites. I would imagine that this is most useful as we are looking at journal type results. So if I remove this article filter and I decide that I want to stay on top of everything that the online learning journal publishes, I can bookmark this, and then right within Primo, within that tool that's easy to access, I will be able to return to that journal whenever I want to see if something new has been published there. So in addition to setting a certain result as a favorite so you can rediscover it, there's another fun tool of Primo that will make it more useful to you for searching within your discipline. And that's going to be up here with this personalize option. This little toggle switch, if you click on it, will bring up this list of subjects, which will allow you to restrict your results to your discipline, to your academic area. So if you decide I'm interested in online learning from a social sciences perspective, you can say, this is the only thing that I want to see. I'm not as concerned with the business side of online learning and who's making money from it, or specific to a discipline such as nursing. Instead, I want to see the social implications. So if I personalize this, it's going to make sure that those results are coming from journals or other sources that are labeled as having a relationship to the social sciences. You can always take that back off if you need to expand your search again. And we're back to the original result page. Now, if for some reason you're not able to find what you're looking for in this search, keep in mind that what Primo is searching by default is something that you, as a Tri-County faculty member or student, when you show this to your students, have access to. So for my search of online learning, we have 3.3 million results that are going to contain at least one of those words. If in those 3.3 million, you've come up short and you can't find exactly what you're looking for, one option over here on the left is to expand your results from your search. If you click that, what Primo will do is it will go out into the world of things we don't have access to, and it will display those results alongside the results of content that we can access. So now I'm looking at 5.6 million results. Those new 2 million results will not have full capabilities associated with them. You'll be able to see that description page that I showed you earlier, but you won't be able to access the full text of an online resource. If one of these results is something that you like, it's time to contact a librarian and we will work on getting that result to you. So with that sort of tour of your results screen, I'm going to hand it back over to Sam to wrap up.
Thanks, Aaron. I mean, that's really helpful. And in point of fact, what I will just kind of say to maybe put the final touches on things here is that, as you can tell, we're all really very excited about Primo, and there are all kinds of interesting new capabilities it brings to us, new opportunities for learning and discovery. And in order to take advantage of those, we'll all have to be learning and discovering together how to get the most out of Primo. So we're going to invite you guys to use it and explore it and play with it. And to please feel free to share with us your insights and your questions, what you discover, what you wonder about, and reach out to your subject area liaison to partner about those discussions. And together, I'm pretty sure that we can leverage Primo to improve the learning and research experience for our students and for us guys too. So I think that kind of gives us a pretty good wrap up of the base Primo. And so we will now say, please reach out if you have any questions. And thank you very much for taking the time to watch. Oh, whoops. Sorry. We'll have to edit this in post-production, you guys.
So wow.
I'll see if I can edit that.